Hello friends, a very warm welcome to the Crochet Hook channel. Today we are going to learn how to crochet this very beautiful tiny little heart stitch crochet triangle shawl pattern. See how beautiful these tiny hearts look. And here on the side arms I have added the fringes along with these heart shaped danglers that make this triangle shawl even more special. Have a closer look here. These hearts really steal our hearts. They're so prominent and so beautiful. Have a look on all the sides. You can work the heart danglers in the same color as the fringe or with a different color. I have explained both the ways here in this video. So let's get ahead with the pattern. For the friends who are joining me here for the first time, please do consider subscribing to my channel. That really means a lot. Having all that been said, let's get ahead with this beautiful shawl pattern. Here I have chosen yarn of my choice. This is Ganga Rose Acro Wool knitting yarn. It's a very soft wool and it's I have chosen blue shade of this yarn. A crochet hook of 3.0 millimeters, a sewing needle with a big eye to sew in the loose ends, a pair of scissors and a measuring tape. So let's get started with the pattern. So then to begin with, work a slip knot and chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it here and then 7, 8 and 9. So we have 9 chains, then yarn over. Insert the hook into the 4th chain from the hook and work 1 DC. First chain 3 also stands for a DC here. So we have 2 DCs already worked. Yarn over into the next chain ahead, work 1 DC. Yarn over again, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. Work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. We are simply going to work DCs all across. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. Yarn over, work 1 DC into this last chain that is there. And here we have a total of 7 DCs worked. This is row 1. For the row 2, chain 3 and turn the work. Then yarn over into the next DC below, work 1 DC. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below. So we have 3 DCs here. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below, 4. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below, 5. Work 1 DC into the next DC below, 6. And yarn over, work 1 DC in this top 3rd chain to end this row 2 here. Row 2 ends here. This is the bottom corner of a triangle shawl. With these 2 rows gets completed. 7 DCs, the top 7 DCs created. For the row 3, chain 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold it here. 7, 8 and 9. Then yarn over and insert the hook into the 5th chain from hook. Make sure that you insert the hook into the 5th chain from hook. Work a DC. So we have 2 DCs now. First chain 4 also stands for a DC. Work 1 DC into the next chain. So we have 3 DCs now. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. 4. We are again going to create 7 DCs. Then yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. 5. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. This is the last chain that you are working a DC into. So this is the 6th DC of this row, and then yarn over the 7th DC we are going to work in this DC below like this. So again at this end we have 7 DCs created. Simple. And then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip 2 DCs below, insert the hook into the 3rd DC. And here work 1 slip stitch like this. Chain 3 again. 1, 2 and 3. Yarn over, skip 2 DCs below. Atop this 3rd DC or at the top of the 3rd chain here, work 1 DC like this. This is what we have created. So here after the 2 rows of DCs, we created this 3rd row where we have these 7 DCs and this midsection of the chains, and this last DC worked. And here at this end also we will create 7 DCs. One is already worked here and we'll work 6 chainless DCs. So let's go for it. Here only we'll work 6 chainless DCs. So then yarn over and insert the hook at the base of this very DC like this. Hold it, yarn over, pull through one loop first, then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. One more DC worked, we have 2 DCs now. Yarn over and now pay attention. At the base of this newly created DC, beneath the 2 strands like this, you have to insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one loop first, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. Simple, 3 DCs created. 4 more to go, yarn over, the same way we will create 4 more. At the base of this newly created DC, insert the hook like this beneath the 2 strands, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through one loop first, then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. We have 4 DCs worked. Yarn over again, at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook just like this beneath the 2 strands, and then pull up a loop, yarn over, first pull through one loop like this, then yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. Simple, 5 DCs work, 2 more to go. Yarn over again, at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook beneath the 2 strands like this and pull up the loop, then yarn over, pull through one loop first, then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 1 more to go. Yarn over at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook beneath the 2 strands like this. And for the sake of convenience, I tilt it like this. Then yarn over, pull through one loop, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Simple. So at this end as well, we have 7 DCs created. See, the way we have these 7 DCs on this end. This is the row of increase. The third row is the row of increase. And then here, for the 4th row, chain 3 and turn the work. And then we have 6 DCs ahead. Yarn over, just work 1 DC atop each of the DCs below. A total of 7 DCs to be worked atop 7 DCs. 3. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 4. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 5. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 6. And yarn over. We have 6 DCs worked till here. Then yarn over, work the last DC of this row here atop this last DC below. Simple. And we have reached this midsection of the chains. So then chain 3 and hold it here, then work 3 more chains and then work a picot with this last created 3 chains like this. Work 3 more chains, 1, 2 and 3, and yarn over. Skip all this midsection of the chains, and here in this very first DC atop it, work 1 DC. Like this. This is what we have created here. And then yarn over, we have 6 DCs ahead, work 1 DC atop each of them. 2 done, then work 1 DC into the next DC below. 3. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below. 4. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below. 5. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC below. 6. And then yarn over, work 1 DC in this top 4th chain below. This ends this row here. 4 rows get completed. And for the 5th row, we'll again go for an increase. So then chain 9. Remember, except for row 1, in every odd number of row, we go for the increase. So then chain 6 and hold it here. And then chain 4 more, then yarn over, chain 3 more, then yarn over, insert the hook into the 5th chain from hook and work 1 DC. So we have 2 DCs worked. Again, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. Now we have this 4th DC worked. First chain 4 also stands for a DC. Work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. 5 and then work 1 DC into this last chain ahead. 6 and 1 more DC to be worked. So then the last DC we work in the DC below. So then in this very first DC work the last DC of this section here. 7 DCs created again. And then here chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip 2 DCs below, insert the hook at the top of the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch. Chain 3 again. 1, 2 and 3, then yarn over, skip the 2 DCs below. And at the top of the 3rd DC again, work 1 DC. Here. Simple. And then we have this midsection of picot, yarn over in this chain 3 space on this side of the picot to work 2 DCs, 1 and 2. Nextly, bring the picot and make it face down like this, and then yarn over inside the hook at the center of the picot and work 1 DC into this picot like this. Simple. Then in this next chain 3 space next to the picot, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2, and one more time yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC ahead. So 7 DCs created in this midsection as well. This is how it looks. A beautiful heart shape is very much evident, as you can see. Nice. And then chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, skip 2 DCs, insert the hook at the top of the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch. Chain 3 again, skip 2 DCs below, yarn over, work 1 DC in this top 4th chain. This is the last DC here. This is how it looks, and the way we have created these 7 DCs on this side, on this end, will create 7 DCs at this end as well. 1 already is done, so we'll go for 6 chainless DCs nextly. So then yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this very formed DC like this, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first like this, then yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. This is how we have 2 DCs now. And then yarn over again at the base of this newly formed DC, beneath the 2 strands, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first like this, then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 3 DCs worked. Yarn over again at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook beneath the 2 strands. Make sure that you insert the hook beneath the 2 base strands of this newly formed DC like this. Then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. 4 DCs worked. Again at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook beneath the 2 strands, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 5 DCs worked, 2 more to go. Yarn over at the base of this DC formed, beneath the 2 strands, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. Okay, again yarn over at the base of this newly formed DC, insert the hook, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So here we have 7 DCs created at this end as well. This is the 5th row. So here the 5th row also gets completed, and nextly we'll go for the 6th row, and you can see how evident this beautiful heart stitch is. For the 6th row, chain 3 again and turn the work, and we'll simply work DCs atop DCs. So then into the next DC, work 1 DC, yarn over into the next DC, work 1 DC, yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 7 DCs atop 7 DCs created. We have reached this midsection of the chains where we work the picot like this. We'll be working here. So then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, then hold it here, work 3 more chains, and then work a picot with this newly formed 3 chains like this. Work 3 more chains, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip all this midsection of the chains, and in this very first DC atop it, work 1 DC like this. Simple. And then we have 6 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of them. A total of 7 DCs to be worked. 1 already done. 2. Work 1 DC into the next DC. 3. Work 1 DC into the next DC. 4. Work 1 DC into the next DC. 5. Work 1 DC into the next DC. 6. And work 1 DC atop this last 7th DC below. And then again we have reached this chain section. So then chain 3, hold it, work 3 more chains, work a picot with these newly formed 3 chains like this. Work 3 more chains, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip this chain section in the center, and atop this very first DC I had work 1 DC here. Simple. And again we have 6 DCs ahead. Work 1 DC atop each of them till the end. Yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC below. So we have 2 DCs worked. Again work 1 DC atop the next DC below, 3, work 1 DC atop the next DC below, 4, work 1 DC atop the next DC below, 5, work 1 DC atop the next DC below, 6, and then yarn over into this top 4th chain, insert the hook and work the last DC of this row here. 6 rows get completed here. This is how it looks, and it is very evident that just in every odd number row, like in row 3 we went for the increase. In this pattern is a repeat of 12 stitches and 2 rows, and these 2 rows, be it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any number but not 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it can be any number. Just repeat these rows over and over. Then we'll go for the 7th round. It's an odd number round. We'll go for the increase. So then chain 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Then yarn over, insert the hook into the 5th chain from hook and work 1 DC. First chain 4 also counts as a DC. So we have 2 DCs worked. Then work 1 DC into the next chain below. 3rd DC worked. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain below. 4, work 1 DC into the next chain below. 5, work 1 DC into the next chain below. 6, this is the last chain of this sequence, and then we work the 7 DC atop the DC below. So then yarn over, in this very first DC below, work 1 DC here. So 7 DCs of a row are created at this end as well. Then we'll go for the midsection of chains atop here. So then chain 3, skip 2 DCs below. Atop the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch like this. Chain 3 again. 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip 2 DCs below again, and atop the 3rd DC ahead, work 1 DC here. Like this. Then this is how it looks. Then yarn over in this next chain 3 space here, work 2 DCs. 1 and 2. Then simply bring this picot, make it face down. Bring it down like this, then work 1 DC at the center of this picot like this. Yarn over into the next chain 3 space here, work 2 DCs. 1 and 1 more here, 2. And then yarn over into the next DC atop it, work the last DC of this section, the 7th DC here. This is how it looks. We have created 7 DCs in this midsection as well. Then here we'll go for the chain work. So then chain 3, skip 2 DCs below. Atop the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch, chain 3 again. Skip 2 DCs below, yarn over, atop the 3rd DC ahead, work 1 DC like this. Then into the next chain 3 space here, work 2 DCs. Yarn over, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2. Now bring the picot down like this, yarn over, insert the hook at the center of the picot, work 1 DC into the picot like this. Then yarn over into the next chain 3 space next to the picot, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2. And then yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC ahead. Again 7 DCs are created here. See, this is how it looks. 7th round we are working on 2. And then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip 2 DCs, insert the hook atop the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch, chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip 2 DCs atop this, insert the hook into this 4th chain, top 4th chain, and work the last DC here. We'll go for the increase afterwards. So this is the 7th round, and on this end also we'll create 7 DCs here as well, the way we created it on this end. So 1 is already done. We'll go for 6 chainless DCs. So then yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this DC, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops, 2 DCs, yarn over, insert the hook at this newly formed DC, at the base of it, beneath the 2 strands, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, then yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops, again yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this newly formed DC, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this newly formed DC, beneath the 2 strands, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 5 done, 2 more to go. Yarn over again the base of this newly formed DC beneath the 2 strands. Inside the hook, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop first. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 6 DCs done, 1 more to go. Again at the base of this newly formed DC beneath the 2 strands. Inside the hook, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop. Then yarn over, pull through first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 7 DCs at this end are also worked. Then for the next row, chain 3 and turn the work here. This is the 8th row we are beginning. Then yarn over into every DC ahead, work 1 DC. 2. First chain 3 also stands for a DC, so we have 2 DCs worked. Work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 3. Work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 4. Work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 5. Work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 6. Yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC below. 7 DC is created atop the 7 DCs of the row 7. Simple. And here in this midsection of chain we go for the picot. So then chain 3, hold it here, work 3 more chains and work a picot with these last 3 chains like this. Work 3 more chains. 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip all the midsection of the chains, and in this very first DC atop it, work 1 DC here like this. Simple. And then we have 6 DCs ahead. Yarn over, just work 1 DC atop each of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Simple. Again chain 3, hold it here, work 3 more chains, create a picot like this. Then work 3 more chains. 1, 2 and 3. Skip the midsection of the chains and then atop the first DC ahead, work 1 DC. And then work 1 DC atop each of the 6 DCs below. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Simple. And again we have reached this midsection of the chain, so then chain 3, hold it here, work 3 more chains, we'll work the picot here. Chain 3 more, work a picot with this last created 3 chains here like this. Then work 3 more chains. 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip this midsection of the chains, atop the first DC ahead, work 1 DC here. And again we have 6 DCs ahead, just work 1 DC atop each of them. 2 already done. Work 1 DC into the next DC 3, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC 4, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC 5, yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC 6, and then atop this top 4th chain here inside the hook, work the last DC of this row here. 8 rows get completed till here, and this is how it looks. Again we'll go for the 9th row. 9th row is an odd row and we'll go for an increase. And we bring these picots down, so then they look exactly like a heart. So just keep repeating after the row 1 and 2, be it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any row, just keep repeating over and over and we will get the desired length of the shawl. So then this is the 9th row, row of increase, chain 9 and then yarn over, insert the hook into the 5th chain from hook and work 1 DC. First chain 4 also counts as a DC. 2 DCs worked. Again work 1 DC into the next DC. 3, work 1 DC into the next chain, 4, yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. We are working into the chains. 5, yarn over, work the last DC into this last chain here. The DC that we worked into the chains are 6, and then to end this row, the sequence of 7 DCs here, atop this first DC in the row below, work the last 7 DC here. So we created 7 DCs on this end, and then chain 3 for the middle section. Skip 2 DCs below, atop the 3rd DC, work 1 slip stitch like this. Chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, skip 2 DCs, atop the 3rd DC, work 1 DC like this. And yarn over into this next chain 3 space here, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2, then bring the picot down like this and yarn over at the center of it, insert the hook, work 1 DC here. Then yarn over into the next chain 3 space, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2, and then yarn over atop the next DC, work 1 DC here. We have created 7 DCs in this midsection as well. Heart shape is very much evident. And then here again we'll go for the midsection of chain. So then chain 3, skip 2 DCs, atop the third DC, work 1 slip stitch. Chain 3, again skip 2 DCs, yarn over atop the third DC here. Again we'll create the same pattern, work 1 DC into the next chain 3 space here, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2. Bring the picot, make it face down like this. Insert the hook at the center of this picot, work 1 DC there like this. Then yarn over, work 2 DCs into the next chain 3 space ahead, 1 and 2. Then yarn over, work 1 DC atop the next DC ahead here. 7 DCs created in the midsection as well. Then chain 3 again, and just like this we'll create this midsection here. So then chain 3, skip 2 DCs, atop the third DC, work 1 slip stitch. Chain 3 again, yarn over, skip 2 DCs, atop the third DC, work 1 DC, yarn over into the next chain 3 space, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2. Bring the picot down like this, and then yarn over, work 1 DC at the center of the picot like this, and then into the next chain 3 space, work 2 DCs, 1 and 2, and then yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC ahead. Simple. This is what we are creating. Then chain 3 again, skip 2 DCs below, atop the third DC, work 1 slip stitch like this. Chain 3 again, yarn over, skip 2 DCs, and atop this insert the hook into this top 4th chain, work the DC here. This is how it looks. This is what we have created. This is the 9th round. The same way we created 7 DCs there, we'll create 7 DCs here as well. 1 already done. We'll go for 6 chainless DCs the same way we did earlier. So then yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this DC and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 2 DCs worked. Yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this DC beneath the 2 strands. Remember, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through second 2 loops. Simple. 3 DCs. Yarn over again, insert the hook at the base of this newly formed DC beneath the 2 strands, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops again. Create 1 more DC the same way. 5 DCs work, 2 more to go. Yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this newly formed DC, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert the hook at the base of this newly formed DC beneath the 2 strands, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 DCs created. Then chain 3. This is the 10th row that we are beginning, and turn the work again. Create 6 DCs atop 6 DCs. First chain 3 also counts as a DC. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 DCs atop 7 DCs created. This is what we have created, and you can pick any row, be it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in pair. Pick the row and just keep repeating these 2 rows over and over to reach the desired length for the shawl. So once you have reached the enough desired length for the shawl, at the top arm of this shawl we are going to work a very simple border of HDCs, and on the side arms of this triangle we'll work fringes with heart danglers. So let's get started. So here where we have finished our rows, where we have already our yarn joined, hold it like this, insert the hook and pull up the loop on this side. Then chain 2, 1 and 2, and turn the work. We are going to work a very simple border atop this top row of the triangle. So then yarn over, insert the hook into the next DC ahead, work 1 half double crochet, yarn over, work 1 HDC into the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 HDC atop the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 HDC atop the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 HDC atop the next DC below, yarn over, work 1 HDC atop the next DC below. So we have 7 HDCs atop 7 DCs created, and in this mid section we'll move the way we moved with the DC. So then in this chain 3 section, work 2 HDCs, 1 and 2. Now bring this picot down, yarn over, work 1 HDC at the center of this picot, the same way we used to do this DC row. Then again in the next chain 3 space, work 2 HDCs, 1 and 2. Simple. We're just going to repeat the pattern till here over and over. Again we have 7 DCs below, work 7 HDCs atop them, 1 atop each of the DCs ahead, and then we'll work this picot section the same way. 7 HDCs atop 7 DCs, then 7 HDCs here in this mid section, and again we'll repeat the same pattern all the way till we reach the end of this top arm here. I'll see you at the end. So here I have worked that simple border with HDCs all the way and reached the end, just a couple of stitches in the end in the corner. So in the second last DC below, I'm working my second last HDC, and then in the top 4th chain insert the hook and work the last HDC of this row. So this border is finished all along from this end till that end on the other side, and here we will first move and reach this corner, and then here we'll begin working the fringes like this. So let's get started with it. So then hold it like this and chain 2, and then on this edge we have 2 DC rows. In this very peripheral DC at the top of it, work 1 HDC like this, then yarn over into this space of the DC here, work 1 HDC, then yarn over at the top of this next DC here in this stitch, work 1 HDC, then again yarn over in the space of this DC here, chain space, work 1 HDC, and then yarn over in this corner chain, work 1 more HDC. You can also work this HDC into that chain space again. So then we came all the way long and down here, and here now put your shawl like this so that this lower portion of the shawl is facing away from you, and this has to be held like this. And then here chain 10, we are working the fringe, and we are working the fringe and the heart in the shape same color. Hold it here after chain 10, and then chain 4 more. With this last created 4 chains, create 1 slip stitch into the 4th chain, and then chain 2. Here a loop is created. Turn this loop like this, and then yarn over, insert the hook into this ring that we created with chain 4 chains, and work 3 HDCs, 1, again into the ring, work the second HDC, 2, yarn over again into the ring, work the third HDC, 3, then yarn over, and after 2 chains we work 3 HDCs, then yarn over, work 3 DCs, 1 into this ring only, 2 and 3, simple, and then chain 1 and yarn over twice, insert the hook into the ring and work 1 triple crochet here like this. Then so we have created the half of the heart, chain 1 again and yarn over into the ring, work 3 DCs, 1, 2 and 3, and then yarn over, work 3 HDCs into the same ring, 1, 2 and 3, then chain 2. A heart shape is created, that is very much evident. Chain 2 into the same ring, work 1 slip stitch like this, and then chain 10 backwards like this. Hold these chains untwisted, and here this fringe with the heart dangler is created, and here across these 7 DCs at this junction point of the 2 rows here in this very corner stitch here, insert the hook and work 1 slip stitch to join this fringe here. Simple. Again so here this fringe with the same shade of heart is created, and again we'll move downwards to reach the next corner. So then from here chain 3 to reach this corner. We'll first reach that corner and then create the fringe. So then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and skip the 2 DC rows at the very corner here. Insert the hook and work 1 SC like this. And from here we'll begin working our fringe again. So then chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Hold it here and then chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert the hook into the 4th chain, work a slip stitch. A ring is created here. Again, then chain 2 and flip this ring like this. Yarn over, insert the hook. We are going to work into the ring. So yarn over, insert the hook into the ring, work 3 HDCs. 1, 2 and 3. Then yarn over, work 3 DCs into the ring. 1, 2 and 3. Then chain 1, yarn over twice, insert the hook into the ring, work 1 triple crochet here like this. Half of the heart is created. Chain 1 again, yarn over into the same ring, create 3 DCs again. 1, 2 and 3, and then yarn over, work 3 HDCs into the ring. 1, 2 and 3, and then chain 2, insert the hook into the ring, work a slip stitch. A heart, beautiful little heart dangler is created, and then chain 10 backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember to keep the chains untwisted while we go for the slip stitch in the corner stitch here. So skip all the 7 DCs and in this corner stitch just work 1 slip stitch like this, and again we'll reach the second corner. So then chain 3 and skip the 2 rows of DCs, and in this corner stitch here, space here, work 1 SC, and from here again chain 10, work a dangler, come back with 10 chains. So I have shown you 2 fringes with heart danglers the same way. Reach the other corner, create the fringe, then again from there where we slip stitch, reach the other corner and work the fringe, and the similarly just keep moving till you reach this corner here. Here again, after we work the SCs and came down, we'll work the fringes with the same color but with a different color of heart dangler will be there. So let's see how to work that out. So once you have worked the SCs and reached this corner, chain 10 here, then hold it and chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now insert the hook into this 4th chain from hook, work a slip stitch. A ring is created the same way we did earlier. Then chain 10 backwards, and see, we are not creating the heart at present. We will just be making these fringes, and into the same stitch in the corner stitch, skipping the 7 DCs, we work the slip stitch into the corner, then chain 3, skip these 2 rows of DCs. In this corner stitch, work 1 SC and chain 10 again. Will create this fringe with the loop, but we are not creating the heart, as that will be worked in a different shade later on. So all the way round we'll just be working this fringe. Then hold at the 10th chain and work 4 chains, create this ring here with the 4 chains, and then again work 10 chains backwards, keep the chains untwisted, and then in this corner stitch again work 1 slip stitch similarly. Again chain 3, reach this corner of the second row below, work 1 SC here, and here again go for 10 plus 4 chains plus 10 chains backwards. Just like this, we'll just be creating fringes with the loops all the way till we reach the end, and we'll be working the heart with another shade later on. So here I have created the loops. Let's see how to create the heart then. Into any of these we'll create a heart. So just pick up your first loop here and into this ring of 4 chains here, insert the hook and bring your new shade into it, and just keep this ring little bit twisted like this, the way I am holding, and chain 2 and we'll just create the heart the same way. Work 3 HDCs here after chain 2, 1, 2 and 3. Just remember that we have to just hold this loop of 4 chains little twisted onto the left. Then work 3 DCs, 1, 2 and 3. The pattern for the heart is same as we did earlier. Then chain 1, yarn over twice, work 1 triple crochet into the ring like this, chain 1 again, yarn over, work 3 DCs into the ring, 1, 2 and 3. Then yarn over, work 3 HDCs into the ring. After the DCs, work 3 HDCs into the same ring. The pattern for the heart is same as we did for the blue color. And then chain 2 into the same ring, work 1 slip stitch like this, and then flip it over like this as it's shown, and on the back side of this heart also work 1 slip stitch like this, and nextly, leaving a little tail, cut this thread, secure it with the knot here. You can tie the 2 loose ends together and then secure these loose ends into this back portion of the heart only. Simple, and this is what we have to do in every loop ahead. Just like this, we'll create the heart the way we did it here. We'll create it later after creating the fringes into every loop here. So this is how you have to work the fringes in 2 shades, working the fringe and the heart in different colors. Just go on creating hearts the same way. So here, once you have created the fringes either with hearts or without the hearts and reach this bottom of this triangle shawl, this is the bottom corner. How we have to go about it, let's see. I have reached this bottom row 1 and here I have worked this SC also, and then here again we'll create a fringe. So then chain 10 and we'll create the fringe the same way. If you're working with the same shade, work it the way I have already explained, and if you're just creating the loop to work the heart in another shape, then go the way I'm showing it here that I've already explained earlier. So then create a fringe here and keep the chains untwisted, and across these 7 DCs in this last space here, work a SC here. So this is how we have to work this very bottom corner of this triangle shawl. 1 fringe will be here like this, and here you can create this heart either with the same shade, then go ahead and create it all together at the same time, or else create it later. Now we will climb up. So let's see how to climb up. From here then, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and into this next corner stitch here after the 2 DC rows, work 1 slip stitch, and from here we'll begin our fringe this time. So the pattern for the fringe will be same. I'm just showing here how to move up. So then chain 10 again. If you're just creating a fringe, hold it here, chain 4 and work a ring with this last created 4 chains like this. Then work 10 more chains backwards. We're just creating the fringe without this heart dangler. Keep the chains untwisted, and then across this 7 DCs in the corner here work 1 SC like this. This time we are moving upwards from the bottom corner. This is the bottom corner and we are working the fringes moving upwards. This is how we have to keep repeating the pattern. So we work this fringe here. This is the bottom corner, and then we are moving upwards to reach another top corner of this triangle shawl. So here we worked 1 SC, chain 3, worked 1 slip stitch in the corner, then again create the fringe, work 1 SC here, chain 3, worked 1 slip stitch in the corner here, and again here, from here we'll work the fringe. So then again create a fringe here the same way. After the chain 3, work a slip stitch after the 2 chains, and in this corner from here again we'll begin working the this fringe. And then when you finish this 10 chains, then in the next corner work 1 SC and then chain 3. We want to reach the other corner. In this corner stitch, again work 1 slip stitch here like this, and from here again work 1 fringe, chain 10, work a loop, come back with chain 10. Simple. Just doing it with you for a while to help you understand how we have to move from the bottom corner of this triangle way up to this, to any of the corners, top corners, when working the fringes. And then across the 7 DCs in the corner here space, work 1 SC, and then again chain 3, skip 2 DC rows vertically, and in this corner stitch work 1 slip like this. Simple. This is the way you have to climb from this bottom corner and reach another corner of this triangle shawl, working the fringes with or without the hearts. Simple. Just keep working like this. I'll see you here at this top corner here. Here from the bottom corner of this triangle I have worked my fringes and reached another corner, top corner of this triangle, worked my last fringe as well. Let's see how to go about it. Then here also skip the 6 DCs, and in this corner space here work 1 SC, and again we'll work SC border to cover this 2 rows of DC. So into the next space work 1 SC, at the base of this next DC work 1 SC, then into the space of the DC here work 2 SCs, 1 and 2. We are simply lining it the way we did on the other side. Into this corner stitch just work the last SC here. So we just lined it the way we did it on the other side with HDCs. SCs and HDCs have same height, so you can work either of them. So this shawl is properly lined on all the 3 portions, sides. Put a knot, secure the thread well, secure the loose end as well. On the top side of this triangle we worked a simple HDC border, and on the side arms we have worked these beautiful fringes with the heart danglers. So this finishes a beautiful triangle shawl with heart stitch and heart shaped danglers with the fringes on the sides. This really is an awesome shawl pattern. You can go for it in any shade you wish and it will definitely come up awesome. It has such a beautiful dangling heart on the fringes that makes it more rich. Have fun learning, have fun crocheting. Please do consider subscribing to my channel. That means a lot. I have tried a lot to explain everything in detail. I hope the video tutorial helps. See you next time.